What's up, tech enthusiasts? Today we are taking a look at one of the most powerful budget mini PCs you can get on the market right now. This is the Peladn W04 mini PC powered by a Ryzen 7640HS, Radeon 7060M graphics, 32 gigabytes of DDR5 memory, and a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD. All of this for $469 US. But wait, before you click away, I'm gonna do something really cool with this to show you that even for that money, with a couple of extras, this thing can give you a lot of bang for your buck. So just stick around, you guys will see. Also, if you guys are new here and you somehow stumbled on this video, thank you for visiting my channel. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video and you enjoy subsequent videos after this. And if you really do enjoy this one, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button afterwards because it really does help me out. And if you're a long-time subscriber and you somehow found your way back after I haven't made videos for a long time, thank you, and thank the YouTube algorithm for actually putting this video in front of your face. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and show you what the unboxing of this is like and get through the features. Inside the box, we get the mini PC itself, the power adapter, an HDMI cable, mounting hardware in case you'd like to mount it to the back of your monitor or something like that, and the quick start guide to get you going. Now on their site, it says it's supposed to also come with a SATA adapter in case you want to add a SATA SSD to this thing, but for some reason, my review unit didn't come with one in the box, but I believe you're supposed to get one with it, so just keep that in mind. Now for build quality, the PC is surprisingly compact and feels solid. It has a simple sort of matte/glossy finish that will pick up your fingerprints, unfortunately, but it looks like it also has good ventilation on the sides and a clean layout. My only gripe is the styling on the front. The orange trim and the front bezel all seem a little weird looking to me. I know it's like their company colors and whatnot, but you know, it's not a deal breaker at all for me. It just kind of looks a little weird, just my personal preference. For front I/O, we have the power button, 2 USB 3.2 Type A ports, one 10 gigabit per second USB Type C port, a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and a clear CMOS button, which is a PC guy is kind of cool to have. On the back, we get the power port, a USB 4 Type C port capable of 40 gigabits per second transfer and can also be used for video output. We also get a 1 gig LAN port, a 2.5 gig LAN port, an HDMI and display port outs, and then also we get 2 USB 2.0 ports. With the I/O selection, you're able to run a triple monitor setup with this little PC, all running up to 4K 60 Hz. Now let's take a quick look inside the W04. This is super simple because it comes with a magnetic top cover that you can just simply pull off. This top cover also has a tray for that 2.5 millimeter SSD I talked about before if you do want to use one. On the inside of the W04, you'll see the included 1 terabyte NVMe SSD and the pre-installed 2x16 gig kit of DDR5 RAM running at 5600 megahertz. Now in today's economy, having 32 gigs of RAM is a luxury for sure, and they do offer a 16 gig model as well if you prefer to save some money. Now there's one more thing to be aware of, and that's that extra NVMe slot in the top. You can actually populate this with another SSD if you like, of course, or you can do what I'm about to do here in a minute, so stick with me. Finally, taking a look around the case, you can see plenty of ventilation, like I said, for the machine, as well as a blower-style fan on the bottom to keep things cool, so we'll see how temperatures are once we start gaming. Now, talking about everyday use, booting into Windows and everything like that and getting started up is very simple. Opening Chrome, multiple tabs or apps, and just doing everyday work is perfect on this machine. In fact, the pre-installed SSD is plenty quick, getting just over 5,000 megabytes per second read and 4,700 megabytes per second write speeds according to Crystal Disk Mark. But I know my audience, at least the ones that used to be here, you guys really want to see the gaming performance. So let's see what that 7640HS and the integrated 76M graphics can do with some 1080p low settings light gaming. I first ran it through Steel Nomad Lite and it achieved a score of 2259, and you'll have to bear with me as I did have to record the screen with my phone instead of using OBS because OBS was actually really hitting the performance a ton with me recording in the background. Next, I started at the very bottom of the barrel and tested Duke Nukem 3D just for fun to see how it does. And yes, this thing can be an absolute emulation machine beast and runs basically any older game like this just fine, as this one was capped at 180 FPS and you'll never see it drop anywhere below that. Now moving on to something newer, I went with Minecraft Dungeons because this is actually a very fun dungeon crawler game which can pretty much represent the type of mobile or handheld game you'll see people playing these days. And at 1080p on the fast preset, which is basically medium settings, we were seeing anywhere from 55 up to 70 FPS, which is completely playable and enjoyable. Next, I really decided to up the ante more and test a completely new game, and I first went with Doom: The Dark Ages. At 1080p with the handheld preset, FSR on performance, and frame gen on, we were able to achieve a handheld gaming experience of 40 to 50 FPS, which is not terrible, and it actually did not look that bad considering what we were playing at. Lastly, I chose the brand new game of Outer Worlds 2. This is a just very well optimized game that I think will give this machine a fair shot at 1080p low settings. So with the medium textures on as well, and FSR on performance, as well as frame gen on, we were seeing another gaming experience about 30 FPS, sometimes a bit higher depending on what's happening on the screen. And I also started experiencing a bit of stuttering in this game, and I thought this would possibly be some thermal throttling from the CPU, as in this title I saw the temps rise to about 76 or 77 degrees C, so we'll have to see if that continues moving forward. So from those tests real quick guys, you can see that this machine can do as advertised. They say that it's supposed to be able to do some light gaming at 1080p low settings. So did it do it? Yes. So what they advertise, it will do that. But here's the thing guys, I don't think people like you and me want to stop there. We want to tinker with it. We want to get some more gaming performance out of this thing, right? So that is exactly what I'm about to do, and let me show you. So what I decided to do was go the route of getting an external GPU dock and making this thing use a full discrete GPU to see if we can get some more gaming performance out of it. So the first choice we had to make was what type of port are we going to actually use? Like what kind of bandwidth are we looking for, and how are we going to make this happen? So the first choice we could have used, it's already included on this machine, is the included USB 4 port, and we could have just done a plug and play solution for this system. But after doing a bit of research, I already know that in a lot of games, I'll be leaving a lot of performance on the table because there is actually generally a better performing solution out there, and that is called Oculink. So now I'm not going to go fully into USB 4 versus Oculink in this video because that can be its own video by itself, and there are a few of those out there, so if you guys are interested, check on other people's channels. Now you may be saying, hold on a minute, Ricky, there's no Oculink port on this system. Don't worry, stick with me, I'm going to explain what I did. You are correct, it does not include an Oculink port, but what it does have is that spare NVMe slot, and that's what we'll use to make this work. So I did a little digging online, and there's actually an adapter card that you can get that converts your spare NVMe SSD slot into an Oculink port. So I picked this one up on Amazon for 20 bucks, and all you do is slot it in like an SSD, and then you connect your Oculink cable to it. That's literally how simple it is. Now the more difficult part is what comes next. Choosing one of these eGPU docks can be pretty daunting because there's a pretty wide selection of them out there, but I chose this very simple looking one I found on Amazon for about 100 bucks. It came disassembled, so I actually did have to put the whole thing together myself, but after screwing in a few bolts, we now have an eGPU dock with an Oculink port available. Now, everything seemed to be going smooth up to this point, so I was just waiting for something to go wrong. And unfortunately, it did. The power supply I originally used was an MSI 850 watt gold rated power supply, and for some reason, this one did not play nice with this GPU dock, and I was running into power issues. Every time I would power the machine on, it would trip the power supplies like failsafe, and it would not boot. So I cannibalized an older PC I had laying around in my office, ended up using an old and trusty EVGA 500 watt bronze rated power supply, and what do you know? Right after I plugged that thing in, the dock just sort of worked. Well, sort of. I had to actually figure out through trial and error that when I booted initially, I had to make sure my monitor was seeing the integrated graphics to get a signal through HDMI, so I could then get into Windows and install the new NVIDIA drivers to make the 3060 Ti work through the DisplayPort out. So now that we have the power of 2 graphics cards technically, and a 6-core 12-threaded CPU, let's see what this system can do in some games. Now it should be pretty obvious that with the 3060 Ti installed, the performance jump in this machine is massive. So I ran the full Steel Nomad test this time, no more light one for this one, and we were able to achieve a score of 2664, which their test says is a legendary score. For reference, I actually ran Steel Nomad Lite again, and this time we got a score of 11,744. Like I said, crazy difference compared to the last time. I also went ahead and ran TimeSpy and achieved a score of 10,997, which again, the software said was legendary, so I'll take it. Moving on to actual gaming, in Minecraft Dungeons at 1440p this time, we were able to push the graphics to the fanciest preset. Yes, it's actually called that. And we were seeing about 240 FPS average this time around. I also decided to add Cyberpunk 2077 to our test this time and running it at 1440p again, high preset, while also running DLSS on balanced, because of the 3060 Ti, and then also being able to take advantage of FSR 3.1 frame gen because of the 760M, yes, that's actually possible. We were able to achieve around 110 FPS on average in actual gameplay while keeping a very crisp and smooth gaming experience, as you guys can see. Next, we hop back into Doom: The Dark Ages, and while running it at 1440p high settings with DLSS on balanced, we were achieving just about 60 FPS on average as a solid gaming experience. Now, I'm sure we could have tweaked a few things on this one and found more frames, but I think it was already a win since we were able to jump up the resolution and all of the other settings and still achieve 60 FPS. I think this title right here is just a little bit more difficult to run for this system. And finally, I saved this one for last because it's pretty interesting. In Outer Worlds 2 playing at 1440p again, high settings with DLSS on balanced, and again, using AMD frame gen, we were able to achieve 85 FPS on average and have a very beautiful looking gaming experience. And this is another one where it looks like it's actually able to take advantage of DLSS because of the 3060 Ti, and then it's able to use AMD's frame gen also to basically double our FPS. So I wonder if this would even work with something like lossless scaling to even double it again if you really wanted to, but we'd have to do that in another video. So with all that, here's my conclusion. On its own, the Peladn W04 mini PC is a great little machine for everyday use, work, editing, and some casual gaming at 1080p low settings. It's compact, quiet, efficient, and packed with memory and storage at a good price point that doesn't break the bank for somebody. But where it really shines is when you add an external GPU, and then it becomes a surprisingly capable gaming system. Now, I know you guys are gonna ask, so here's a little price breakdown of all the things I added to the system, so you guys can kind of weigh the option of, is this like a cool thing to do, or should I just build a gaming PC? So for the system itself, like I said, it was $469. For the 3060 Ti, that can be had for about 200 to 250 bucks on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, so we'll call it $225 for this. The GPU dock that I bought was $100, like I said, and I didn't have any price data for the 500 watt because it's an old power supply, but a general 500 watt power supply can be had for about 35 bucks new. And finally, the Oculink card that we had, like I said, was 20 bucks. So that brings us to a total of about $849 US. Again, this is gonna be on you guys, whether you guys think this is actually a good thing to do. So I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on this down in the comments below. Would you guys buy a mini PC like this and then do what I did and add an external GPU for this price and this money? Or would you rather just take that money, put it into an actual gaming system and go that route? Please let me know what you guys would rather do, because I can see somebody taking this system, buying the actual mini PC first for like 469 bucks, using that, and then down the road, maybe piecing this together, and then now you got a gaming system. So it's definitely a viable option. So again, I wanna hear what your guys' thoughts about it are. So with that, that's gonna conclude this video. Guys, I was actually pretty blown away with how this system performed once I added the external GPU, and basically after a few little tinkering things that I had to figure out, you know, in the BIOS, and then figuring out how to get the eGPU to work, and the whole debacle with my power supply and switching that out. Once I got it all to work, it's actually super simple, man. You just turn the thing on and it works, and then now you got a very capable gaming system. I could literally take the same setup and then put it in my like ROG Ally if I wanted to, but I'd have to give up my extra NVMe slot, of course, which I don't want to do. But anyway, like I said, super impressed with this. It was actually a lot of fun to do, so thank you also to Peladn for sending this out to me. No money exchanged hands, they didn't pay me for this. I just wanted to test the product, and they sent it out to me. So that's gonna do it for this one, guys. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below about this whole system and what you guys think about it. And as usual, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you made it this far, make sure you guys give the video a like. And if you guys want to stick around for more of my videos, get subscribed, those notifications on so you never miss one. And I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.